Alright.
Presents a turbocharged extravaganza by Vicarious Visions. Brace yourself for Crash Nitro Kart!
Yeah, I always give credit to the creators of this game. I do have to say I quite like playing this and recording it because sometimes there are nice situations. But I also have to see everything I also did previously to playing, because I've worked a lot today. I have refurbished a set of garden furniture. My first refurbishing job, if you want, or if you will. It was a challenge because I had to work through a lot of insecurity, which is insane if you think about it, because why does it always have to be such insecurity? I mean, where is the insecurity coming from? Why are we insecure? And what's the position? Wow. Wait a second. Oh, I'm so glad I already did that. Wait, I already did that? Assembly lane. Wait, how is this one? Electron Avenue. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Well, first of all, I did so many things today that when I was done doing them just now, I felt like no way did I do all of that. Because the day felt like an eternity. Which is how every day should feel like if you take the time to actually do things and simply work for life or for nature. You know, this is like being in the moment. I mean, I first in the morning, because I invited 3 people where I actually thought they were friends. Now I have to assume they're just cowards. Or they just had a bad day or whatever. Well, in the end, they didn't show up. But I said, you know, at 4, we're gonna meet. And nobody came. But, you know, that was already after I had done a lot of stuff. So my day started, well, okay, first of all, last night, I was kind of shocked to realize that I actually managed to drink 2 bottles of wine. Like, I kid you not. Ah, that was the first one. I kid you not. I literally drank 2 bottles of wine. And yesterday I worked hard to... Wait, did I do that yesterday? Wow. Apparently I did. You know, time's relative. I feel ancient, and then I feel like a little kid. And that's the mastery, right? Come on, man. Hit me or leave me alone. Right? You know, it's like women. You know, come and, you know, have me get you pregnant. Or You know, whatever. No, I don't actually care. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to collect these C and K things. Thank you, polar bear. Okay, wow, what am I trying to communicate? I have done so many things and time's rushing. Time is a-flying. You know, this is carpe diem. Yeah, this is basically my life. People are so busy on trying to be first, it's like living Valhalla. You know, I'm serious about it. Oh, this is the K. Okay, I have to get that one the next round. Wow. I'm not sure. I don't think I can talk about all of this. This is too much stuff. I mean, I have done too many things. Literally done too many things. Okay, yesterday I started refurbishing the garden furniture. And that took me most of the day. It was also, I don't know, man. I constantly feel like I'm being tortured inside my mind by people who sit around and have nothing better to do than to, right, use me as an outlet. And all I can say is, I feel pain, I feel suffering, but I cannot just sit around and wither away, because maybe there's people who are relying on me for emotional support, right? I mean, you can say it like this. But at the same time, there seem to be things that I have to do in order to continue to move on. And if I consider myself to be friends with people and I feel like they let me down, then maybe it was their intuition that said, maybe it's not the right time, or maybe I was mistaken. Maybe I was out of place to invite them, if you know what I mean. This is the feeling I have been getting. That, right, if they were to come, hey, I don't know, man. Nobody's rooting for me. I feel like know thyself is getting a deeper meaning. Know thyself is getting a deeper meaning. I think I cannot be around certain people and I cannot invite them to my place. And the weird thing is, every time I invite them, they say or they sound like they would come, but then nobody's coming. And I'm actually grateful for that, because in a way I don't like them at all. I don't actually like them. I'm just trying to teach them a lesson. But every time I do that, you know, I get screwed for it. But hey, when did I become first? But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, man. I'm under some kind of protection. Somehow I'm being protected by something. Somehow I'm being kept alive. But you can only know that if you actually start paying attention and then figure out, you know, what you're supposed to do. But the more conscious you get, yeah, I don't know how. The more conscious you get, the more difficult it becomes to navigate these planes of reality, because I continuously kind of forget I don't actually know who I am. And if people send me messages, I don't know who that is. You know, sometimes I see someone and I think it's my father, but suddenly I get the vibe it's my mother. Right? So, you know, I'm not the best guy to talk to about who you are. You know what I mean? Because I'm completely flexible in that sense. I mean, I've got a lot of strength. I know how to do all of this, what I'm doing here. But in order to do that, I have to continuously transcend myself, which is what it means to be in the moment. You are in a constant state of flow. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you have to let go all the time. So sometimes you have to let go into sleeping, and sometimes you have to let go into drinking 2 bottles of wine. But I cannot explain you that. And why not? Because, you know, I don't know myself that I'm going to do it until I'm doing it. So yesterday I was working, you know, I didn't sit around and think, I'm gonna drink 2 bottles of wine. No, it's more like, I don't know why, but I have the feeling I should drink a 2nd bottle. But I also know I cannot do this all the time. I mean, I could, but if I were to do that all the time, you know, it would be hard. You know, I would become too soft. But there are times where I feel like I just needed to let go, because there's so much holding on. I don't know. But the thing is, sometimes I feel like, I don't know, I'm going somewhere else. Right? Sometimes yeah, I don't get it, man. I just thought I was being called, but now it doesn't seem like that anymore. Okay, so what am I actually talking about? Well, I don't know, man. You know, I just like to quote C.G. Jung, who said in an interview that he always had a loose sense of reality. Well, that's one way of putting it. Well, another way of putting it is I actually have very little clue of what's actually real. But I can see actions, and if I invite 3 people to a barbecue and I buy the things and nobody shows up, then I was mistaken about thinking they were my friends. And then I have to acknowledge that I have no friends, right? But my parents are willing to join me. But whether they're gonna do that, how am I supposed to know, right? Well, until now, they're still there and they're still supporting me, but I literally have no friends. You know, I meet people and they behave like friends, they act like friends, but in the end, nobody shows up, and I'm always alone in the end. You know, I'm not kidding you. So, you may ask yourself, well, what are you doing creating all that content? Well, I have tried. I really have tried doing other things. But I have been let down so many times because people constantly try to screw me or win over me. But what they don't get is that in the end, I'm the one who's winning. They don't get it. I win every time against everyone. And I cannot help it. I just win all the time. Because if you think you can screw me by not showing up to a barbecue, then you're the asshole. Then you don't get that you actually have to work for, right, whatever we consider to be friendship. Because I'm the nicest guy you'll ever find. And if you try to screw me because you have never done your shadow work, right, and you're just smoking tobacco and you can't get out of bed because you're lazy or whatever, you know, or emotionally heavy, well, you know, I'm telling you, hold planks and do art. Hold planks and do art. You know, that's the safest way for you. Woohoo! Wow! I almost didn't get that. This was like... I'm glad I don't have to do that. I hate doing things again. I mean, I don't like doing the same thing in the same way. So the question is, you know, I think I'm not yet in a super stable state. I mean, if you have to drink 2 bottles of wine to let go, well, that's like really tough, you know. But there were things weighing on me in spirit. You know, I constantly feel like I'm being tormented by voodoo because people are full of hate. And so if people watch your content, right, and these are people that are full of hate, which is a lot of people, then they'll watch you and they'll start to hate you in their mind, right? So they probably rather see you die, you know what I'm saying, than to, you know, have you survive, because as long as you're there, they feel like their existence is being threatened because you're better than them. You know, I'm better in a lot of ways, but I've also worked hard for it, and I can feel if people would like me gone. I mean, that's like my sister-in-law, because I'm better than my brother at certain things, and she's very competitive. So in a certain way, I know that she kind of hated me. Because in a way I'm like, but that's what she doesn't get. I'm like, in a spiritual sense, I'm better. But there are things that I also cannot do. Which is like be her husband, because she never stood a chance. I mean, I would have had no interest in her whatsoever because she's too materialistic. She's a very materialistic woman, right? But I don't know, I'm just really observant, and I just pick up a lot of stuff, and she hates me for that because she's lazy. I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? I look at her, and she can see that I know, and she hates that. And a lot of people are like this. I walk through the city and they know that I know, right? Because everybody's acting like they've got something to give, but most people that I've met actually have nothing. to give. Like seriously, nothing to give. Everybody's just a phony, right? And everybody uses something, you know. Some people smoke, some people eat lots of chocolate. You know, everybody has figured out certain ways for themselves. And then I mean, you know, why I actually connect well with my father, or started to connect, is because he's just a hard worker. He's a really hard worker, and I respect that. And so that's what I learned from him, you know, work hard. You know, work hard whatever you're doing. You gotta work hard. And when you work hard, you know, you're gonna get something. And some people just don't get that. You know, some people, they just like to be lazy. Ah, damn it, this one's really hard to get. Right? And so I'm just taking whatever comes my way, and I try to survive. But I mean, I get frustrated. Things aren't working the way I think they should work. And then, you know, I feel like I could be losing my temper. But then I just breathe and smile, right? But there are moments where I feel like I could be losing my temper. But I cannot do that, because then people would feel like they won over me. Because there are moments where certain pathways are blocked. And sometimes I feel like people are blocking me all the time. And sometimes I have to figure out who's actually blocking me. And that's a very hard thing, because we're all spiritual beings. And I cannot act like, wow, this one's tough. Okay, I'm probably going to be taken over. Yep. Still have to do that again. Ugh. Okay. So, what did I all do? Well, I first sandpapered. I first sandpapered all these wooden things. Hey, what was that? I sandpapered all these wooden things. I sandpapered all these wooden things. Damn it! How am I supposed to get that? I sandpapered all these wooden things. And then I wiped them clean with a moist cloth. And then I yes. I applied the paint on it. And after I applied the paint, I waited, right? Because there's always one side you cannot paint yet, because, you know, the wooden thing is resting on it. And after I had applied the paint, Damn it! Okay, this is gonna be tough now. Because now I have to get it in the last round. Okay, and then you turn it around and then you do the side that was lying on the table thingy. But while I was doing it, it was... the sun was quite hot. Because we're now in June. Beginning of June. Today is the 8th of June. And so 2024. And so I was busy doing that. And so while I was doing that, and then I sandpapered it again after all the paint had dried. Shit. Okay. After all the paint had dried, I sandpapered it again and then I painted it again. Okay, did that. And then, I don't know, I drank a bottle of wine because I felt heavy and I felt, I don't know, emotional stuff. Certainly in relation to this woman. And I just have a hard time letting go because I'm quite tough and I can really hold on, but people also really cling to me. And sometimes I feel like there's people that contact me via email and I feel like they just use fake names because they're afraid, you know? But I don't actually know who that is then. And that to me is very frustrating because, you know, right, I'd rather see you in person so I actually know who I'm dealing with. But if people write to you, you know, I always feel there's some kind of vibe or an energy behind this me being contacted, right? This is super tough, by the way, to get this story straight while playing this game. But this is also important for me to learn how to keep navigating. Hey, this will already happen. So I know he attacked someone from another team and I attacked him. It's super hard to communicate these things, to get them into perspective and then try not to get sucked into all this, right? It shouldn't become too emotional, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, you have to be a bit down to earth to talk about these things, which is why I just refused drinking a coffee, because it would have, I don't know, pushed me too far. Yes! Now I can just focus on racing. So, right, instead of running after these people, I just keep doing my own thing. But in the end, I don't know if this is friendship. Because everybody's so angry. I mean, I meet people, to me, they're not humans. To me, they look like, you know, Titan spirit things. You know, everybody acts like super nice, like a child or whatever. But there's so much stuff happening on the other side that if you always act like it's not happening, you know, you're just never gonna get anything for the rest of your life. I mean, it's even my cousin, right, who just doesn't contact, you know. I send him messages He doesn't reply to them. And then, you know, we have this appointment for going on a hike, right? What, am I just supposed to go there? You know, why doesn't he write? Is he thinking he's, you know, I'm just gonna let go of this? No. On this day I'm gonna stand there, and if he refuses to join me after he agreed to do it, I mean, I'm gonna hike anyway, but then he's the pussy, and he doesn't get that. And maybe he will join me, right? But so these so-called friends, they act like friends. But I invite them, they don't come. I mean, it's a very stupid choice that they're making. Because in that sense, I'm friendly. But you shouldn't take people for granted. I mean, I get it. I thought I was probably helping them and they rejected it. I don't know. These things that it's just you cannot understand some things. Maybe they just want to test me. But there's also this point. I also have to do these things here, and I have to squeeze them in between. Plus I have to work on the book, Crazy Wisdom 3. And if I keep running around after people because I think they need help, I mean, I don't think they actually need help. Because what they say with words just always sounds like a lie. Or maybe I'm mistaken, right? Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's not a lie. Maybe it's just... Maybe it was too much. Maybe they had to take care of things, you know? I don't know, man. So I just take care of my own things. But I did marinate 4 pieces of meat. And now I'm preparing other foods because now I just said, okay, they didn't come. And then I asked my parents, okay, do you want to come? And they said, yeah, you know, we can do it. But why? You know, why do they join me? But not people who you think are friends, right? You know, why do my parents join me? But why can I not have friends? Or maybe I'm too greedy. Maybe my motivation for asking them. Because, you know, in a sense, I want to be some kind of a leader. Because I'm very good at what I'm doing. But people feel like, you know, I haven't earned it yet or something. Because I'm not actually earning money. Not like that, right? But then this will never change. If you know what I mean. Then I simply cannot have friends. And it's really hard to accept this, but I felt very drawn to this t-shirt, and I'm gonna buy it at some point. It's 2 t-shirts. One is a nun, and at the back it says bad habits, and that one is in black. And the other one is in white, and it's portraying Jesus at this round table, and he's sitting at the table with his woman. You know, I'm just saying, this is how I feel like. And it says, you cannot chill with us. And you ask yourself, but who am I? Am I supposed to be some kind of a Jesus? But this is the vibe that I'm getting. You know, people meet me and they treat me different than everyone else. But why do they treat me different than everyone else? They treat me like I'm some kind of holy thing. And I simply started reacting to that. Okay, apparently that's then who I am. But how am I, you know, how do you know that? Well, I don't know. People just treated me different. And now it's becoming increasingly more So actions transcend words, and you can see the actions of someone literally imprinted on him. And it's especially women that treat me with a lot more respect than most men. Not all women, but there are some women who treat me with more respect than other people. Right? It's the... I go to the, let's say... to the sauna. Yeah, see, you get it 3 seconds and then you fall and you're wasting it. You go to the sauna and there's people standing in a queue, and the man before you, he just looks like an old man, and the woman treats him like a complete asshole, like literally. And then I'm next in line and suddenly she's super friendly and she'll like, why? Am I some kind of different human being? Well, I've got a clean mind and I've worked hard to clean it. And the law of attraction, but also we are all each other's mirrors, which is why if I come and I mirror you certain things, you know, you're gonna be friendly to me, because if you're ugly, you know what you'll get, right? I mean, it's like we're all angels and demons. Some people try to be just like demons, and well, then what happens is super cool, hey? Now I just have to do Velo's Vault and the last thingy. Whoa. Okay, so that's just... You have to live in a state of acceptance. Living in a state of acceptance means that you... How do you express that? If you realize that what you're doing is actually... Okay, so everybody treats me like I'm really bad, you know? Like everybody treats me like I'm some kind of really bad person. And the reason they think that is because everybody's like this and they're like that. And nobody's really balanced. Everybody's just completely out of balance. And then somebody like me comes along and I'm balanced. And then you're trying to trigger me. That's what everybody does. Everybody tries to trigger other people so that they feel like they won. Because if you start screaming, wait, am I missing something here? If you start screaming, right? If I start screaming, you lost. You know what I'm saying, right? No. If I start screaming, I lost. In that sense. You know, it's like you try to trigger people, but it's actually a sign of weakness in that sense. But people don't get that. Some people, they just... So he thinks he's the best, and so he's asking for the challenge. Okay, this one takes a lot of concentration. Okay, what did I do today? You know, I'm just talking. I mean, I just do so many things, it's incredible. But it's giving value to my life. I'm not sure if you can understand this, how much work it took, how many miles I had to walk, how much hiking, how many stability things. You know, it's sure, it's in the mind, but what's your body doing, right? You have to work this out for yourself. You have to work this out for yourself, because nobody will come and just teach you these things. You know, sure, if you find someone, everybody's looking for a challenge. So a woman is a challenge, a man can be a challenge. All sorts of things can be challenges. But in truth, you just have to focus on yourself, and that's simply what I started doing. And that's what a lot of people, like I said, they don't get it. A lot of people, they sit around, they focus on me with their hate, and they think they can somehow... What? What is he saying? Okay, what am I saying? The challenge is to simply keep walking your path. You know, that's the real challenge. It's to keep walking your path and to keep focusing on your own development and to never blame anyone. If you cannot do something. Because it's really hard to navigate these planes of reality that we see as, I don't know, man, difference. Yeah, fuck it, eh. You just have to take responsibility, see the life that you're living. I'm living life like, you know, this is like a dream to me. And this is why it's so hard, because a lot of people, they act like it doesn't matter, but it matters. I mean, it matters because nobody will come and give you this. You have to seize it. You have to say, I want. No, I want this life to be the way I would like it to be. So this is like cleansing. This is accepting that things like voodoo are actually real. This is taking responsibility for, I don't know, man. I have certain things that I have to do during the day. Wow, he's super tough. I have certain things that I have to do to progress. I don't know why, but you know, this is really hard to get, I'm just saying. This is super hard to get. That's all I can tell you. And it cannot really be explained because, and that's the point, right? You just have to look at the state your own life is in, the state you are in, and then start reacting to it. So I simply hike a lot because I like the challenge, but I also like taking detours, which is why today I took a huge detour. First I went to my parents, and then I said, okay, I have to go to a shop and I have to buy some kind of like a foil rain protection for this stuff that the furniture, right? But I bought it, now I realize it's too big. And so I have to continue to deal with this. Because it's super tough, man. Like, this is no child's play. This is the real deal. This is like, I stopped watching movies and I have to start figuring out what's going wrong in my life, you know, where's my energy flowing. This is accepting the reality of how do you call that one? The dark crystal, and then re-seeing it in your own life. Right? It's like accepting the reality that energy, that you're a conscious being. Whoa! Okay, that was actually nice. Accepting the reality that you're a conscious being and that you have like a battery and that things like Netflix are just sucking you dry. Right? Things like Netflix. Wow, the first time I played this, it took me many tries. Okay, so it's your choice whether you waste your energy onto useless junk, right? Or if you just try to do it by yourself. You know, you can feel good in so many ways, but nothing beats actually having worked hard to finish off projects. So I have had a lot of projects here on the computer, but I'm also starting to see the value in just working with your hands and actually creating things. You know, it's almost like picking up the sword, but we are in times of mind war. This is not, you know, this is not like, you know, if, you know, it's like I'm clearly a warrior type. You know, if I would be living in times of Achilles, I'd probably fight, you know. But this is not, in that sense, times of Achilles. This is then times of Christopher's making art. But I could fight. If the need arose, I would do it. So in a sense, I'm basically doing whatever is necessary. The time trial for this is challenging, but I'm gonna finish it. Okay, so I don't know, man. There's people emailing me, I respond to it, and then I tell you to do planks because you're annoying me. I'm just telling you to do planks, right? Why am I telling you that? Well, because you're clearly not doing the planks that you should be doing. Right? You're clearly not doing the planks that you should be doing. And I'm asking myself why. Right? I'm asking myself why you're not doing the planks that you should be doing. Wait, is this automatically the time trial now? Or do I have to do something to get the time trial? Wait, what? How do I get the time trial? Hyperspaceway, where is that? I thought this one is the hyperspace way. Wait, hyperspace way. Oh, it's in Velo's vault. And Velo's vault is this one. Yeah. I mean, you do realize that this is confusing. So the challenge is you say things and then you do them. But if you say things and then you don't do them, well, then you just have to take responsibility. Because I've been meeting too many people who just say things, but they just don't do them. Okay, I'm going to save. And then do this in the last session. Okay, so what did I do? I did a lot of hiking. I did a lot of... Yeah, this can never be expressed. You just have to live it. Just spend less time on the computer and start making experiences. Start hiking, start walking. Right? Become a real spirit again. Somebody who's spirited. Because you're actually connected to spirit. For that you have to merge into nature. I mean, hiking barefoot is probably essential in getting that. But people are just too proud. So they're not getting the message. I'm actually not that proud. I'm proud in a certain sense. But I'm actually not proud. Because I'm willing to put in the work, right? I mean, you can say there's pride in a lion, but a lion also has to accept that he's starting to aging, but you can age with pride, but not this kind of like false pride. A lot of people have false pride. True pride takes a lot of responsibility. But if you start, if you keep driving around in your car, and if you keep being an ignorant idiot, then, what am I supposed to tell you? This is like false pride, because you can only be proud if you know what you have done. You have to earn it. But then you also have to humble yourself. I mean, because you know what you've all done. But, I'm a bit proud of myself in certain ways. But, right, so I'm just going to continue telling people, do your planks. If they keep emailing me, in a way I have to respond. I'll just say, do your planks. And that's all I'm going to say. Because I do feel like there's somebody else sitting on the other side trying to take a piss on me. Because the story just sounds like a lie. Like literally sounds like a lie. And after some time the lie always becomes apparent. Right? I mean, you meet someone in the park and he tells you, first he says his grandma died. And then suddenly the grandma didn't die. Suddenly she's somewhere in a coma and he's struggling with this choice of whether he should have her killed or something. It's like, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? First you say she died and I'm not really buying that, and suddenly you say something else. It's like, I mean, I don't even know who you are. But I see you, but I still don't know who you are. Because I have the feeling, I don't know, I have the feeling you really hate me. Why do I have the feeling that you want to harm me or hurt me? I I mean, I meet so many people who are like this, who act like super friendly, but they just want to see you in the dirt for whatever reason. And it's just strange. I just don't get that. I just meet so many shady characters walking around wearing sunglasses, but in spirit they're almost like empty, completely empty, but they act like they've got something, but they're complete dicks. You know, and every time I'm super friendly, you know, I'm there, I help you, and you just take a piss on me. You know what I'm saying, right? It's super frustrating that people always try to point you out like the culprit, because I'm not the culprit. I'm just doing my thing, right? And they just don't get it, that my parents pay this apartment because I actually engage with them. They see value in keeping me alive, right? If I would have never helped them, they wouldn't have ever helped me, but we're helping each other. And on Sunday, tomorrow, we're gonna go on a 30-kilometer hike, and afterwards I invite them for a barbecue. So, I mean, what are you not getting? I have a good relationship with my parents, and I've worked on that for years. And you just treat everyone like shit, take everyone for granted. I mean, you're 35, and you think you can just do whatever you want, but you cannot. You cannot escape this. Everything you do is building up, and some people call that karma. Some people just call it energy. Everything you do is gonna build up, and at some point it's gonna jump right into your face. And that's the truth. And I just cannot stand the idea of, you know, after I have chosen a wife, to cheat on her or to hate her or to try to shame her or to push her into a corner. I mean, she can come if she wants to. Well, until now she just never came again. And then I can say, well, maybe I'm just not ready, or maybe she's just not ready, or maybe, I don't know, man. I don't know who's trying to communicate with me. People want to act like they want to be my friends, but I realized, according to the law of nature, you know, I have no interest in being friends in that sense. You know, if you're my wife, then you should be by my side. So where are you? I'm on my own. If you're my friend, or a companion at least, or some kind of partner, right? We should play like a team. But you're A, withholding information, and I share freely. Or you're B, I don't know, a sore loser, or even a sore winner, or maybe this is just who we are. Because in the end, I'm just gonna wait, and in 3 weeks' time, probably I'm gonna go back to the park, slackline, and frisbee just to say, hey, I'm still here, you know. But until then, I'm gonna work hard and see where I'm gonna land. I have to finish this book. This is now what I have to work on. I have to finish this book until the end of August. And until then, I'm gonna probably be through with YouTube. And I will have progressed in certain ways. And what I hope is that you're doing your work, whatever your work is. And this is about spiritual work. This is sadhana. And sure, I mean, I realize that playing games like this has a lot to do with your mind, your mindset. And my mind is set on ending this video. Cheers.